Alright, Kyle, let's take a look at your paper. Emily format first, so this is good. This is all good. You got way too much space here, so you gotta eliminate that space. This should be the same size font as the rest of your paper too, so don't forget to do that. Alright, so your introduction. All of this essentially is you trying to do an attention getter. And I can tell you a couple things. Number one, just do me a favor and count how many times you use the word rung and ladder in this first part. Okay. Number two, essentially what you're saying is that if you want to get to the top, you can't take shortcuts, which is what this quote says. Do not spend this entire rest of the introduction trying to explain this quote, because all you're doing is tripping over yourself and I don't know, you just keep trying to analyze it and overanalyze it and reanalyze it, and there's no use, okay? Use this quote, which, by the way, I think this is a quote by Jim Carrey. You don't have any kind of citation, but I do see there's some quotes down here, and when I did a little research, his name came up. So this is plagiarism, just so you know. This is not your own words. You had to look this up. It's not in quotes, nor is it cited. So this is straight up plagiarism since it's not your own words. But keep in mind that you need to cite that. But say it, explain it, go over it, and then move on. Don't take this entire whatever, okay? So you have your attention getter, you build on it. You still need to introduce the topic, introduce your main points, and have a thesis. And all you get to is then one more sentence. Therefore, you need to follow these steps to the ladder of efficiently, proudly, and successfully becoming rich and famous. So basically, this is the introduction of the topic. But I don't know what the steps are, and I don't know what your theme is. Maybe efficient and proud. I'm not exactly sure. So you're still lacking a lot of what should belong in your introduction. Alright, so your first step is finding strength and willpower through desire. Why can't I become rich and famous like the Kardashians? Why is that not an option for me? Cannot is one word. So fix that. And again, space issue here. But why can't I? They did it. Why can't I? So maybe explain that. I would love to know more about how you do this. Okay, you must find your strength and willpower through desire. Now you give a quote from Jim Carrey, which is fine. And then you talk about you cannot limit yourself to fewer options simply because other people want to stop you from bettering yourself. But everything you have here is so vague. There's nothing specific. So I want to see specific steps. You need to do this because it will do this for you. You need to do this because it'll keep your desire strong. You need to do this, blah, 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 blah. You need to have that in your paper. Otherwise, it's just random, vague information. So it's the first step. So what is your transition? Along with searching, it's most essential to contact small and or local businesses and branches of your aspired business. So this is kind of your transition statement. It's okay that it's here, but it just usually means that you don't have a very strong topic sentence in the next paragraph. So that's why I would move it up and then start with a really strong topic sentence. Alright, so let's talk about locating and contacting small businesses. Alright, I think you need to make this topic sentence and this step a little bit more, this is counter to what I just said, but a little bit more vague, because if you're going to be, you almost talk exclusively about what sounds like acting, because you're using these Jim Carrey quotes, but if you're going to be rich and famous, which maybe this is what's going to happen when you set up your paper better. So your first thing about strength and willpower through desire, which is fine. But your second one is to just learn, I don't know, contact small businesses and branches of your aspired business. To do what? Just to get in the door, I'm guessing, so that you can get a job with them. But you're not specific enough that that's really what you want to do. Do not take no for an answer. You can beg, you can grovel, you can hunt, you can prowl. That's a cute little moniker, but what does it really mean? You need to do everything and anything to get your foot in the door, which includes those options. So we can do any of this. I can stalk somebody for a job, and that's okay. I don't know. Again, you must do whatever it takes to receive a yes. Next, you must never be afraid to do the dirty work. So we need a stronger transition statement that brings us in here. But again, I feel like you need to maybe make this apply to any job, because your steps aren't specific to any one particular job. So maybe a little bit more clear on what those steps actually will be. All right, in this paragraph, your topic is basically to do the dirty work, but you are all over the place with what you're talking about. You talk about hard work, not becoming too proud, making sure your actions match your words, staying modest, not being too proud, and that's what it means to work hard. Like, not being proud doesn't take a lot of work for most people. So I don't know what exactly it means to do the dirty work, because a lot of these examples don't necessarily scream dirty work to me. Like, you know, if you were talking about whatever business you join, don't be afraid to do the job no one wants to do. You know, mopping the floors or taking the bit role in a movie or whatever. I can see that being support for this concept, but what you have now I don't see as support. That really makes sense. Be proud, not too proud, and stay modest yet content. So no comma there. Be proud but not too proud, comma, and stay modest yet content. So need to clear that out a little bit with what you're actually trying to accomplish in that last paragraph. All right, so the final step is to make the money. So you're going to do all of this stuff as a fresh, now again, you go to business professional. That's what you think being rich and famous is all about, is being a business person. This is like the dirty work here. This is what I think of. Take every job opportunity you're faced with. And then you get into the whole greedy thing. You need to be greedy, but on the other hand, you must not be greedy. So, but on the other hand, comma, you must not be needy. So greedy but not needy. You should always want more and more than you have. But don't expect everything to be handed to you. And again, the last way to make the big bucks is making more smart business decisions, but I don't know what that means. I don't know what it means to handle my finances wisely. Sorry, invest. Should I save? Who should I negotiate with to help me in the long run? Like, just be more specific with what it means to make money and what I should do with my money to have some sustainable income for the future. That's what I want to see out of this step to make it even more clear where you're trying to go with it. All right, so this is kind of your pseudo thesis, which is fine. You do go through your main points, but you need to have a sentence of summary per main point. You don't really do that either. This I would move down towards the end to reaffirm. It's called a bookend. You start with this concept at the rung, you end with this concept at the rung as well. Don't make reference to the guide either. A couple of your peers did the same thing. Don't keep making reference to the paper and the guide. You will fail miserably and be forced to start over or force yourself into giving up. Don't end with good luck, but I wouldn't end with this statement either. I don't think it's a strong last statement, so get rid of that. Bring back maybe the rungs of the ladder. I'm not exactly sure, but you're going to have to make it look better. Works cited should go all the way to the top. And yes, you use your whole outside sources were 2 Jim Carrey quotes. So not necessarily the most reliable, reputable source out there that really backs up your information. All right, Kyle, you got some work to do. I mean, you have the bones of a really good paper. Definitely some organizational things that we need to work on in order to make it better. So hopefully we'll see a rewrite out of you.